If you're someone who finds yourself waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., this is not a coincidence. And it's not something you should ignore. This is a divine moment, a time when God is calling you to listen, reflect, and act. Don't be quick to dismiss these wake-up calls as mere sleep interruptions. In fact, it is often in the stillness of these early morning hours that God speaks to you most clearly, away from the distractions of the world. If you stay tuned and follow this message, I will show you exactly what to do during these sacred hours to align yourself with God's voice and purpose. Stick with me, and let's uncover what God may be trying to tell you. When you wake up during these hours, it may seem like an inconvenience or simply an odd occurrence, but in the spiritual realm, nothing is random. The early hours of the morning between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. carry significant meaning in Scripture. It is often the time God uses to awaken the Spirit for deeper communion and revelation. This is a window of divine opportunity, a moment where the spiritual atmosphere is still, and the distractions of the day have not yet begun to crowd out the voice of God. In Exodus 14:24, it was during the watch of the night that the Lord looked down and began to work His miracles for His people. If God is calling you awake in these hours, it's time to respond. Don't roll over and go back to sleep. God may be prompting you for something greater. The Bible reveals to us that in the early morning hours, Jesus Himself sought out solitude to pray. Mark 1:35 says, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house and went off to a solitary place where He prayed. Jesus understood the importance of this quiet time, free from distractions, where His Spirit could commune with the Father uninterrupted. This pattern is not just for Him, it is a model for us. If you find yourself awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it is likely that God is inviting you to a similar encounter. What do you do in those moments when your eyes suddenly open in the dark? What's your immediate reaction? Many people simply check the time and try to go back to sleep. But in these moments, we must train ourselves to understand that God is calling us to be alert, to rise, and to engage with Him. This is a time when you can truly unlock spiritual wisdom, receive divine direction, and align yourself with God's perfect plan for your life. It is in these early hours that our spirits are most receptive to the supernatural, and if you are willing to press in, God will reveal things to you that the busyness of the day might otherwise drown out. Think about Samuel, who was called by God in the middle of the night. In 1 Samuel 3:10, the young boy Samuel heard his name being called repeatedly, but it wasn't until the third time that he realized it was the voice of the Lord. Eli had to tell Samuel to say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." In the same way, when we wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., we must attune our ears to the voice of God, recognizing that He may be trying to get our attention. We should approach these moments with the attitude of Samuel, ready to listen and respond to whatever God may want to say to us. So when your spirit wakes you up during these divine hours, the first thing you should do is to pray. But don't pray casually. This is a time for deep, intentional prayer. You need to engage with God as if He has called a special meeting with you, because indeed He has. Begin by thanking Him for waking you up and ask for His guidance. Pray with expectation, believing that He has something specific to say to you in this moment. Philippians 4:6 reminds us to make our requests known to God through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Approach Him with a heart of gratitude, recognizing that being awake during these early hours is a privilege and an invitation into deeper fellowship. As you pray, listen carefully. This is not just a time to speak, but also to be silent before God, waiting for His voice to penetrate your thoughts and spirit.